Purdue as Mitchell looks for an answer.
Ooh, pure, nothing but net.
Garland to the basket, stole the inbound pass. He lays it in.
Basketball down there.
Very high percentage shot for him from that spot. Merrill for three. Tristan Thompson on the floor. Diaz for three. That's short. Hard rebound. Ricochets out to Merrill for three again.
For the We Like Sportz Show, tune in and see the latest the crew has to say regarding the latest sports topics nationally and locally. Make sure to check out our website as well, WeLikeSportsPC.com. Subscribe on all platforms, including podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and much more. And be sure to follow us on X at We Like Sportz PC.
Started with Anderson and Ramirez.
He said, let's go, right? Yeah, I'm sure he wants the game to start, but they won't let it. And rightfully so.
And welcome to the We Like Sportz Show. I'm your host, Ed in Columbus. Welcome to a Tuesday edition, June 25th. This is the halfway point to Christmas. So for all those out there that like to get a head start, or like myself, who just need constant reminder that it's coming up, you have 6 months to get your Christmas shopping done. Maybe the fact that I just don't like to spend money on gifts that aren't for me. Maybe that's my reluctance and the whole Christmas thing, but I like everything else about it. Yeah, so halfway there, June 25th, halfway there. Also too, almost to July, and one of my favorite holidays and our nation's birthday, July 4th. Love July 4th. Love fireworks. Love the festivities, like the hot dogs, the hamburgers, and all that. So that should be coming up next week. So yeah. I can't believe this summer is kind of flying by. I know it's only actually began the other day with the summer solstice and the official beginning of summer, but yeah, it's almost over with. And the fact that we're 1 month in, but it doesn't start until you're 1 month in, and got Labor Day, the unofficial end to summer, but summer doesn't end until another like kind of 25 days later after that. So it's just fun how that begins and ends, I guess. And, I don't know, maybe check your calendar to find out when things are, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you're having fun, we're having fun. We're going to get set to go here. I guess I wanted to start out with a little bit of the NBA draft. Now, as you know, the NBA draft is coming up tomorrow. And myself being a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, having the 20th pick overall, what can you really get at 20? And from what I'm seeing, there's a guard, Isaiah Collier, out of USC. It'd be a nice fitting with maybe Donovan Mitchell, maybe a steal at 20. I don't know. With this draft being the way that it is and no elite players, it seems, maybe picking at 20 is the way to go. I mean, Giannis was picked, I think, 15th. I'm looking at this draft board, and I know you got the French guy going number 1. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, I know everything about these NBA draft prospects, because I don't. And, I think that's an indictment on maybe I wouldn't say lack of talent. I don't want to go there. But, these guys are young. And, it seems like in the NBA, players are getting drafted younger and younger, and maybe not as developed as what they had been in the past. I know you had your LeBrons and your Moses Malones and things like that were ready to go basically from day one, but that's not always the case. And Zachariah Rizaker, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but you'll probably go number 1 to the Atlanta Hawks, and good for you. You were 7'2" center, and no, actually, that's Klingon. See, that's the thing. I was trying to. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to do a little bit of prep work before the show and like trying to learn these names and everything and what they are. I know the number one guy, 6'8", 205 pounds from France. Okay. And then I got these two big guys. Okay. The two big guys, Alex Starr, maybe going to the Wizards, and then that Klingen guy going on later. So maybe that's the case. I do know Reed Shepherd from Kentucky might be going third to the Houston Rockets. And, there's some players that I know, not many, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at these mock drafts, and Dalton Knecht of Tennessee, I do know him. I remember watching him in the tournament. He might possibly go 9 to the Memphis Grizzlies. So there you go. I mean, there's some players out there, but I don't see any superstars. I guess the most intriguing thing about this draft, because before I butcher any more names of high draftees, one, Bronny James, and where might he go? And I think that's intriguing. Do the Lakers take him? Do the Cleveland Cavaliers take him? New York Knicks take him? Somebody's going to take him. I mean, it's just maybe with a thought of LeBron following or any chance of him. I mean, I think it's worth it. I mean, considering that I'm butchering these names and not knowing any of the players, I do know who Bronny James is. And, I can't say that he's no better off than the players that I mentioned. Obviously, he's probably worse because, these players are actually being projected to be picked higher than he is. And there's a lot of people getting paid lots of money to do that, and good for them. I'm not one of them. So I don't apologize for my lack of knowledge on that. I just hope that if you have a favorite team that, whoever they pick, you're happy with that pick, or maybe, like I said, will be happy with that pick down the road, because like me, you probably won't know who your team is going to pick, or even when they do pick them, who that player really, really is. And that's, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing, bad thing, I don't know. But it just seems like this year's crop of talent coming into the league is just not as highly anticipated as years past. Obviously, you had Victor Wembanyama last year. Every draft has like at least somebody you would think that is a main star or main cog in the future of the NBA moving forward. And I just don't see it this year. I don't think a lot of NBA draft experts see it as well. And that's why kind of the lack of coverage, it seems, with the NBA draft. And I don't know. I think now moving on in the NBA, plenty of star-studded news. JJ Redick going to the Los Angeles Lakers. Obviously, the Lakers missed out because Hurley, Connecticut coach, deciding not to, Dan Hurley deciding not to go there. Wants to get that three-peat, and maybe doesn't want to deal with all the hoopla that is the NBA, especially in Tinseltown. I don't know what case may be. You won 2 titles. The Los Angeles Lakers, a storied franchise in the National Basketball Association, comes calling, and I believe they offered a lot of money. Like I said, Hurley has to be very comfortable in his spot to turn that down. I mean, you would think that all coaches have egos, and you would think that he would want to try it at least. And I'm kind of surprised by it, but not really. I think, he gets that three-peat. That's something special that we haven't really seen much in the NCAA since going back to UCLA. I know the Florida Gators did it in 06, 07. Unfortunately, one of those teams was the Ohio State Buckeyes with Greg Oden and Mike Conley. That kind of sucked. After a couple months earlier, the Florida Gators football team kicking the crap out of my Ohio State Buckeyes as well. So within a short span, I was all chopped out with that. So I don't know. But also, too, the Cleveland Cavaliers hired a new head coach in Kenny Atkinson. Not new to being a head coach in the league. Had a stint with the Brooklyn Nets. I think 118 and 190 is a record, but he had a young Brooklyn squad, and it was for his player development that I think that his name really got highly mentioned within the front offices of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dan Gilbert, I think, was the main reason why he is in Cleveland. From all the reports coming out there, it was James Barago. And once again, if I'm butchering his name, sorry, James. That was Kobe Altman, I believe, and the other front office. That was their main choice. It seemed like they was building steam and momentum. It was Atkinson at first. He was the first And then they had Adelman and a couple other Chris Quinn, I believe, from Miami, and others that they interviewed. I think 6 total, maybe 6 to 7 total. But Borrego was the choice consensus, I would think, with the front office from what I'm hearing. But then he had a meeting with the front office, and then Dan Gilbert kind of circled back to Mr. Kenny Atkinson and kind of basically probably said, look, guys, we like his player development. We like what he did. He had, coaching experience. He's coming off 3 years stint as an assistant coach with Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. So, and obviously Dan Gilbert went through the wars with Golden State. So he knows Steve Kerr, obviously, and unfortunately too well, only winning one of the 4 matchups in the finals. But to the credit, the Cavaliers get Kenny Atkinson. And from all people out there, even Stephen A. Smith said it was a good hire. And, I know he was pushing his boy Sam Cassell to get a job, in which, Sam Cassell's been an assistant for 15 years in the league and probably deserves a shot. I know we had talked on this show about, retreads. Kenny Atkinson is a retread. He did have a prior coaching job, like I said, with the Nets, but I don't know if he was given the fairest of shakes with that opportunity. But he did have experience with Jared Allen and Karis LeVert and kind of developed them a little bit. So, I don't know what Karis LeVert's going to be with the Cavaliers or his future. But I know Jared Allen, and same thing with him as well. I mean, there's rumors of, him being shipped out. But maybe Kenny Atkinson, is an advocate for him. And maybe he told Dan Gilbert that, he'll make the Mobley Jared Allen thing work. And that was very attractive to Mr. Gilbert. And Dan said, you know what, I kind of like what you're saying. And, come on in. And so they got it done. And Atkinson is in Cleveland. So good stuff with that. Other NBA news, like I said, we covered coaching hires. Maybe Borrego goes to the Detroit Pistons. They fired Monty Williams. Monty Williams, you got a good gig there, brother. 5 years, $65 million, and you only coached 1 year, I believe. So you're still owed a lot of dough to sit around and do nothing. And I don't know if that's going to be the case with him. He'll probably get a job somewhere else, but it's not a bad gig. So Trajan Langdon, former the Duke player that was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 90s, the Alaskan Assassin, as he was known for. Well, when he was in Cleveland, it didn't exactly show out that way, but in Duke it did. And I believe he takes over in Detroit, I think president of operations or something like that. So so he'll be there, and I think Borrego will be the number 1 option for the Detroit Pistons moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, the show's going to move forward with one Peyton Vince. What's up, my guy?
Hold on. I have something for you.
Okay.
Oh, it's just a perfect time right now. Hold on. It's the return, baby.
The return.
Uh-oh.
Man, I want to tear up. It's been so long.
Yes. Who is this guy? He's got a Cleveland Guardians hat on, so he's doing the right things there, at least.
Oh, I got the hat on of a winner. Speaking of winners, Keith Allen, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How you doing? How y'all doing,
it's been
fellas?
Such a long time.
Good.
I forgot what it was like to be on this show. Everything's been busy. I got nice and tan here, coming back from the good old Austin, Texas.
Ooh.
Man,
Did you go under the bed? I know in Austin, Texas, they got this bridge, and there's a lot of bats or something underneath this bridge. Did you happen to see that at all? I know that's one of the attractions of Austin, Texas. I didn't
see a lot of bats under a bridge, but I did see a lot of homeless. It's worse down there than it is in Cleveland. You only have them as highway people up here.
Yeah.
But in Austin, Texas, they are everywhere. They literally are in the middle of the street. They're relentless. They will ask you for $1 over and over again. Some dude on 6th Street was walking around with an HDMI cord all wrapped up around himself, too. I was wondering what game system he was trying to pull into. I think he was trying to find a PS5 and connect to a food truck. But, I mean, I think he forgot that he needed a game system. But Regardless, it was a time to be alive down there. The one thing I did learn, it's my favorite thing to do. Me and my buddy Joe, whose bachelor party it was for, horns up, Longhorns. You know what pisses off a lot of people? When you have horns up and you turn them down. You got flipped off so often, and then you go, you know what? We're Buckeyes fans, so you know what? Give us an OH.
I-O.
And that's the way that weekend went when we found out about that. It was a good time, though, regardless. I think the last time I've been on the show, I mean, I couldn't even tell you when. It was probably about 2 months or so. It's been crazy. I'm glad I'm back, though. I have some time before some softball today. Figured I'd end up introducing myself with a little bit of Diddy Dirty Money. I mean, obviously no Diddy on that one, but the song's fitting.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, keeping it relevant. Keith Allen, we were discussing a little bit of the NBA. What are your thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers and Kenny Atkinson?
It was a safe hire.
Okay.
I would say that. It was a safe hire, and I had other people in mind, but it was a safe hire.
So you're saying it's a Dan Gilbert hire? Is that where you're going with this?
Oh, he's been a Dan Gilbert hire for the longest.
Well, who would you have liked to? Who would you have liked to have the Cavaliers go out and? Who would not have been a safe hire? That would have been a sexy pick that maybe Keith Allen could have been more excited about. Because you're not excited, Keith. You're not bringing this. I mentioned Kenny Atkinson, and you turned it down a little bit here. So you're not. I can tell that here.
I would have said Sam Cassell.
You and Stephen A. said Sam Cassell.
I would have said Sam Cassell. I could have even went Rajon Rondo.
That's your boy.
Wild card, yes.
That's been the thing I heard last when I was on this show.
Yeah, that's Peyton. Are you excited about Kenny Atkinson?
Rajon Rondo.
Okay.
I'm definitely intrigued by it. I mean, don't know too much about him, but what I do know is from what I've seen is he has a lot of good history underneath him. I mean, Steve Kerr, one of the coaches as well. I mean, that was very eye-opening and excites me a little bit. And you look at the 3-point percentage of guys that didn't usually shoot the three too. Brook Lopez to end up being one of the most specific ones that came to mind. His 3-point percentage boosted afterwards. And what I keep on seeing on X or Twitter is the fact that this isn't just a move for possibly Donovan Mitchell. This could be more so for the future of Evan Mobley. You saw him take a leap in the NBA playoffs. Maybe this is the move that Evan Mobley needs to end up going forward. And if that's the case, and you could end up having Evan Mobley become somebody like a Brook Lopez, Alpha Horford, you name it. I mean, he's still young. You're capable of changing up whatever. That excites me because if you end up having Evan Mobley somehow become somebody similar to like Kevin Love that could shoot the three, could drive inside, expand the floor overall, that's what you're going to need. And whatever the future holds with the Cavs, I mean, Darius Garland could stick around. You don't know. Donovan Mitchell more than likely is getting this extension now. Atkinson hire, I don't hate it. And I know CJ was texting Casey and I'm assuming he's coaching baseball. That's usually what CJ does this time of year and probably on this day. You were blessed to be in his presence last week.
That's a word, right?
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I had to come back because I knew CJ. I didn't even watch the show. I was too busy on the plane, but I'm sure he badmouthed me once in a while. That's why I had to return and redeem myself. Yeah, just a little bit, see? But I know he said that he ended up saying that he liked the hire, though, a lot. So, I mean, I would be interested to see what CJ has to say in the future about this. But thankfully, this is the NBA offseason now. There's a lot ahead that we could talk about. And I just pulled up the mock draft. I haven't really paid too much attention to a mock draft, really, for the Cavaliers, just because, I mean, years past, you haven't had a draft pick. But right now with the 20th pick, the last I saw was possibly Zach Edey going to the Cavs. But now I'm seeing Cam Christie, which is a guard, shooting guard out of Minnesota that was a freshman. And, I mean, that wouldn't be bad off the bench. And surprisingly enough, I'm looking at the draft right now, too, courtesy of NBADraft.net, usually when I go too often. Bronny James, 56th overall pick. And where is he going?
Lakers?
Yep, that's exactly where he's
Lakers.
fallen to, ironically enough.
Mm. Well, the apple don't fall too far from the tree or from the LeBron.
Not
But,
at all.
yeah, what I guess Keith, I brought up the NBA draft a little bit in the beginning, and obviously Peyton just alluded to it. This year's draft, obviously, no major stars.
No.
Kind of not a sexy draft at all. But the Cavaliers, and I was talking about this Collier kid from USC. Maybe a possibility, another guard too. I think the Cavs should probably look to go guard. You know, this guard 6'5", 210, but you know, they obviously need some height with Mitchell being, you know, not the tallest, and obviously with Darius Garland. But I was saying this too, maybe the draft isn't sexy and has all these players, but maybe there's just some good players. And if you look at this Cavs roster who has stars per se, they need to get bigger and especially with the 3 and D kind of thing. So maybe this draft is made for them. So what are your thoughts on that? And maybe this draft does pan out for a lot of teams, just getting better, but not, you know, making that leap with a star player. And that's not a bad thing.
Because the publication I'm looking at, courtesy of the Sports app, got the Cavs taking Johnny Furphy, 6'8" forward from Kansas.
Okay.
He's a 3-point shooter and everything. He's a fluid athlete who's shown some ability from deep, knocking down a 35% from 3 in his lone season at Kansas. But he's a project, so we shall see. This draft will be interesting because there's really not that much star power at all.
No, there's not. No.
And on top of that, this year is 2 days.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Okay, so you're dragging out over 2 days, and you don't even got 1 day's worth of stars.
Right.
What's even more crazy is, I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's been talked about here and there, but the fact that I feel like maybe it's just in Cleveland, but the fact that the NBA draft isn't being as talked about compared to the MLB draft. Because, I mean, you just got through with the College World Series. Congrats to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Orange and white, right? Orange and white. I almost said orange and blue. That ain't right. But you ended up seeing so many prospects, and maybe it's because the Guardians have the #1 overall pick. That's why it's being talked about. But, I mean, the star power alone right now in baseball, I think there's just way more to talk about right now too. And anybody could be a star. And right now in basketball, I mean, half the guys that are in the top 10, I haven't heard of. Maybe that's just going to be the case that in the future you're going to end up becoming a name. But most of them, I mean, the most recognizable name, and he wasn't even that good, but maybe it's because he was on a Big 10 team, is Edey. That might be the reason why. Everybody else isn't really a star. You got Edey and you got Bronny Jr. or Bronny James.
Yep.
And I mean, they're literally late in the first round, late in the second. So what's the star power there?
You know what? I wanted to throw this out with you guys, and I want to see what you guys think about this. But, you know, Major League Baseball gets criticized for a lot of things. But I think over the last couple of years, they've done a lot of good things. I think the pitch clock's working. I think there's a lot of things that they're doing that is working, the bigger bases, everything. But one thing that I think is helping the game out is we talk about the NBA, you know, when it comes to the draft. And these players that we don't really know about. And a lot of these players, you pick them and you hope they're projects and you store them away in you know, Europe or Africa or these other places or whatever. But here's the thing about Major League Baseball, which hasn't always been like this. I'd say that's been a shift in the focus in the last 5 to 10 years, where you draft a player in the first or second round. These players are coming in and contributing quickly. Look at Paul Skeens now, a phenom. Look at Francisco Lindor in that group kind of came in. You know, you're seeing these guys. Look at, we talked about Chase DeLauder. He'll be up pretty, you know, we're getting these guys and we're drafting them. And Major League Baseball draft is actually becoming like the NFL draft, is actually becoming like these other drafts where, you know, in the past, it's like nobody cared about the MLB draft because it's guys, you don't even know there's so many rounds and maybe we'll see him maybe one. But nowadays, you draft a guy in the first or second round, these guys are studs. These guys are ready to rock and roll in the show within maybe a year or two or even sooner for some, especially some of these pitchers. And I think that's the difference. Or, you know, you're knowing their names, and we're talking about these picks for the Guardians, possibly with the #1 pick overall. I could see whoever we take going to be a major contributor within the next couple of years. And that hasn't always been like that in the MLB. And I think that's what's making it so much better and more intriguing for all of us that like drafts per se per sports.
I think even too, back when you had guys like Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, they weren't even called up as quickly as half these guys are now too. I mean, Gunnar Henderson from the Orioles. I mean,
Yes.
they're right now, I mean, they're enemies just for this couple of days stretch. I mean, the Orioles are a fun team to watch when they're not playing Cleveland. They're a solid team. They were a bunch of nobodies for a while. They've been better than the Astros trajectory back when they ended up having all those prospects come up. But Henderson was really quick. There was another guy that was really quick too, and then ended up getting sent down. Jackson Holiday, I think, is the one.
Yeah.
And
he is up for a cup of tea this year.
yeah, exactly. But he's still young as can be. I mean, take your sips and take your licks and end up getting sent back down and learn from it, and you're getting experience. And the best part about it is what's the most intriguing thing in the MLB draft is the fact that you had Charlie Condon, you had Jack Caglione, the Florida guy that's a pitcher and the hitter. You got Travis Benzana. Now you ended up getting, when we were in Austin, I saw one random prospect. I haven't remembered his name, haven't seen his name. But with that, if you take him first overall, I think the Guardians have the ability with the amount of money that they have saved in some kind of rule in the baseball draft. Again, no expert by any means. It's an MLB draft. I don't think anybody is an MLB draft expert unless if that's what you do for a daily living. But you might have the capability of having 2 first-round picks then. If that happens, could you imagine? I mean, even with the trade deadline coming up in about a month, get rid of one of your top prospects. You're ready. I think I'm the most confident right now. I was almost nearly an untouchable Chase DeLauder guy. Now I'm okay with parting ways with them if you end up looking back at 2016 when you ended up giving up Clint Frazier, Justice Sheffield, Francisco Mejia. All those prospects didn't really pan out. The most interesting one was Sean Armstrong, and he wasn't even a huge prospect, but he's had the best big league career. I'm intrigued to see what happens. And with that, you still have a first overall pick that's going to be up within maybe a year, half year, less than that. And then you might get an additional first round pick. Go for it. I think it's time for the Guardians to go all in, figure it out.
Keith, what do you think? Guardians 2024, is it like 2016? We going all in?
They need to.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I said, they need another right-hand hitter in the outfield, and they need another starting pitcher because starting pitching is going to catch up with them sooner or later if they don't add on. And when is Gavin Williams coming back?
He's supposed to be back, according to ESPN. What I saw yesterday was his expected return date from the IL would have been the 24th, which is yesterday. But within time, I think within the next week or so, you'll see him. His last start in Columbus, I think he went 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, topped out at like 98.3 or something on the gun. I mean, between Bybee and Williams, that's your 1 and 2.
And when does Tristan McKenzie's arm fall off, and then you need to replace him?
That's what's concerning.
I know.
That's where they need another starter.
I don't even – Carrasco's the guy you got to replace and put him in the pen. But he did have a good
– His last outing, he did great. I mean, that's the thing.
It's
like,
he
was crumbling, and then it didn't crumble, and now what do we do?
I guess one of the names I heard now, too, is Kel Quantrill. If you look at his wins above replacement with the Rockies and pitching in Colorado, he has a 3.0 wins above replacement. WAR, what is it good for? It might be good for Kel Quantrill coming back to Cleveland. And you can sneak him in a 4 or 5 spot, Lively at 4 or 5. You just need a 3 starter. I mean, McKenzie he's throwing meatballs, and that's the toughest thing about it. But you got to love his energy. I mean, the reason why I think it's almost reminiscent to the 2016 year now, too, is I wasn't in town for the Shaq concert. I wish I would have with seeing the clips and everything. It seemed like a good time. You had all the players, most of them on stage hanging out. It just seems like that energy's there of them having fun. You had Tristan McKenzie doing the cover of whatever Kelly Clarkson song, Since You've Been Gone. And it's that energy. It's the camaraderie. It's a team that this is better than 2022 all over again.
Oh, easily. I think Stephen Vogt has a lot to do with that as well, getting that fresh manager, and nothing to take away from Tito, but I think this the locker room, the clubhouse has been re-energized, and it's just fun to see. And like you said, I think that the intangible things about a Shaq concert, there's a lot of things that you look upon Major League Baseball, such a long season, and the World Series, you win the World Series, like, oh yeah, remember that Shaq concert that they had, and things like that. As fans, we don't forget this kind of stuff, and it does matter, and it does bring the magic, especially on the corner of Carnegie and Ontario together. And the one thing that beautiful building is missing is a World Series banner, and hopefully this is the year. I'd go all in like 2016, fell short that year, but I'd do whatever it takes. You got the number one pick overall. The prospects will be there, but it's time to win now.
Yes, it's definitely time to win.
And those Yankees, Keith, tell us about the Yankees. They're not going away either, are
No, they just got Garrett Cole back. Matter of fact, he makes his debut today.
Great.
Yes, they got Garrett Cole back, but they had to put Giancarlo Stanton on the IL.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to say that. I hope he's okay, but
we had to put Shane Bieber on there.
Right? I mean, I didn't hear no. Oh,
yeah, but this is honestly, I think this could be the year where the Guardians, if it's up to management and ownership, to show that they are for real.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's up to them.
Speaking of going all in,
in 2024 and beyond, don't forget to tune in to
so we're gonna have the great debate. Oh yeah,
the We Like Sportz Show presents to you the Great Debate.
Well, we tried to make this not a shit show. Well, don't tune in Thursday to that debate, but we got something better than before Thursday. We got the great debate.
That's why I came back.
That is right. Yeah, clean the shit up here, Peyton.
And I need to end up catching up on the TikTok postings. We were on a roll for a minute, but I was just, Guardians Central. I've been at 21 games, and I mean, they're Guardians home games.
What's your record? What's your record?
The record, I already did this before, but while we figure this out, I can tell you the record.
Okay.
But they don't lose often.
Okay. Well, that's why we send you there.
Right, on location.
Right. Yes, he's on assignment, on location at the corner. But okay, so I know it's a slow period in sports right now, kind of. I don't think there's ever really a slow period, but there kind of is, and we're in it right now. And but I heard something the other day, so EA Sports ranked the top places, venues in college football that are the toughest to play in. And they had Ohio State at 4, which is fine. It's in the top 5. But the 3 they had ahead of it were Texas A&M 1, Alabama 2, LSU 3, and then Ohio State. So what my great debate question is going to be, and this is all the sports, doesn't just have to be college football, but instead of debating, I want you guys to pick out, what do you think is the toughest venue in sports? It could be any sport to play in as an opposing team. You're an opposing team and you're going there. What do you think is the most, scary
out of those 4 teams?
No, out of any, you could pick any sport, it doesn't have to be those. I was just giving that as an example, but you could pick, baseball and say Yankee Stadium is, and what I'm saying, you could pick soccer and say, lower.com field in Columbus is, and any sport. What do you think is the most intimidating venue to play at is if you were an opposing team?
Got it.
Peyton, go ahead. You're first.
For one, my record in Guardians games, I did do a quick count. I'm 14-7 out of 21 games. Okay. So I'm 7 games above 500.
Okay, you're 2/3. That's 67%. Good job.
Yeah. But the toughest venue?
Yes.
At first I was thinking,
immediate
thought, Ohio State night games at the Shoe. One of the best ones.
Yes.
But then I realized what's in this glorious background, and it's not talked about enough, to the point that in the right field corner, where you could find me posted up at any Guardians game, come hang out if you want to. It's always a fun atmosphere. It's a party. But we started doing this one thing, and it all started because of some guy that made a TikTok. And he's talking about, after those crates over here, or that way, once you removed them, it has now activated this wind tunnel. And when in right field, we start activating the wind tunnel, and people are so confused by it, but it only happens to home teams. And the other day, before I left, last Wednesday, I activated the wind tunnel with help of all my friends around me. You know what happened shortly afterwards?
Dingers.
I think Naylor hit 2 home runs that game. And it's magical because this wind tunnel does not work for other teams for whatever reason, and I don't understand why. It's only for the Guardians. Will Brennan, during that day game on Thursday, hit 2 home runs, a multi-home run game. I don't think that happens whatsoever. It's not because of a new manager. It's not because of free playing. I think it's 100% because of this damn wind tunnel.
The activation.
It's sweeping the nation. You're absolutely right. This wind tunnel is coming in like a bat out of hell. It is making the Guardians and only the Guardians hit it into it. That's why the ball's flying out. It's not because of the Yankees, Keith, by any means. They can't hit into it. It's shut off whenever they're up. It's not because of the Nationals. It's not because of the Orioles when they come back in August. It's not because of the Royals. It's not because of the White Sox. It's not because of the Twins. We shut that shit off throughout the year whenever they end up coming in. It's only for Guardians fans alone. But Steven Kwan, 7 home runs. I don't think that happens without a wind tunnel. I mean, he hit one of them away.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I made a bold prediction on the We Like Sportz Show that Steven Kwan would have 12 to 15 home runs. How's that looking now?
I think with that wind tunnel, he might be able to hit 20. Who knows?
That wind tunnel. Keep activating it, Peyton Vince. Keep activating it.
We have to keep it active over and over again, but that wind tunnel is the thing to play in. Plus, not only that, you have a great crowd atmosphere. I mean, the ballpark pass was probably the greatest invention for the Guardians to end up having, because on Saturday's game, they had over a sellout. They had 37,000 people, over capacity technically from what they were supposed to hold. They have, 5 sellouts right now throughout the year, maybe 6. And it's because you have a winning team, and the players, without a doubt, are feeding off of it. They're feeding the energy of the crowd. I always say to people, they always say, why did you make standing room? Why does standing room stop? The Cleveland Guardians made standing room because John Adams wanted it that way. John Adams, unfortunately, had to pass away so standing room could stop. You have to be the beat of your own drum. You have to carry on his legacy alone. And that is probably, without a doubt, the players hear it. You hear it probably on TV, not as often, but you still hear the rattling of the crowd. You hear the rattling of the noise. That park is absolutely jumping throughout the year, and we're only at the end of June. There's still we're not even halfway through yet. But the way that the players are playing, the way that the team is being supported right now, this isn't happening in a regular year. Right. If there isn't a feeling amongst people in baseball right now, nobody's showing up to these games. You're getting more people that end up going to Browns 0-16 parades than you are at Indians games being sold out. Sorry, Guardians games. But regardless, that's why I think the Guardians Progressive Field, that's why it's so complicated. I think that honestly, it's just that crowd atmosphere. Once you get down, it's tough to come back.
That's, you know what, and that bullpen too, hey, has a little bit to do with it. But, you know, I will say one thing. I've always said this about Jacobs Field, Progressive Field Magic. It is special. You have a special team out there, and this year they're showing it. And I can't argue that, you know, for opposing clubs to come in, it reminds me of 2016. You're right, Peyton. When you have a lead, when the Guardians have a lead and you're going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it's almost impossible to come back against them.
And you're seeing some good starters right now, too. You're seeing McKenzie on occasion get 6-7 innings if he's on. The only thing is I think that Mariners game last week, I want to say it's a bit of a fluke just because they already saw him earlier on in the year. It's the same thing. But once you see him for the first time, he's not throwing as hard as he used to. He's not the normal pitcher. The last couple of starts, his velocity has been up 92, 93. Yeah. You have Tanner Bybee, who struck out 12 against Seattle. I think maybe 13, to be honest. You ended up having Logan Allen that's leading the team with a 5-something ERA. He has 8 wins.
Hey, I wanted to hear you say this. What the most intimidating thing I think about Progressive Field for the opposing team is when they look, and it's hard for them to see because a lot of people are sitting in those stands, a lot of sellouts, so it's hard to tell. But when they see the blue seats and they see the green seats and they're like, whoa, what's going on here? I think we got him. We got him in their heads right there. You know,
next level mental game.
They win the World Series this year. I say don't change the seats all out. I say leave them alone. Keep it the same.
I agree. Why not? Stick with what you know. Stick with what works.
But that's a great answer, Peyton Vince. Now, Keith Allen, to your rebuttal. I wouldn't even call it a rebuttal, but your answer. What is the most intimidating place?
Actually got a 2-prong answer.
Okay, well, hey,
all right.
Free. 2 for Tuesday.
One in baseball. I would say there's no intimidating place more than Yankee Stadium in playoff time. Many teams have gone into the 8th and 9th inning with the leads just to come out disappointed.
But I would buy old Yankee Stadium, but new Yankee.
Yeah.
I remember the Guardians. Yeah. Now the Guardians, you're right. I mean, they did win Game 2 there, but they didn't win Game 5. And you're right. It is a daunting place to win a series, and I'll give you that.
It's a daunting place to win a series, and I'll give you another place where it's daunting to win there on the road. Heinz Field, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I hate as a Browns
fan. That renegade that gets everybody going. We were just talking
about to say that. I was just about to say that. The last game when the Browns played Pittsburgh, everything was going as planned until you heard renegade in the 4th quarter. Then a few minutes later, Deshaun got blitzed, hit, fumble, touchdown. And the person that scored the touchdown was T.J. Watt, who was held in check by rookie DeJuan Jones.
Yeah, from the Ohio State.
You go in Pittsburgh, and in the 4th quarter, everything could be going good, and then at the blink of an eye, especially after Renegade comes on, everything goes to hell for the road team.
I forgot. I'm dealing with Yankees fan and Steelers fan. I am feeling it today, but
I'm not even a Steelers fan, and I gotta give big ups to that.
It's been a house of horrors for the Cleveland Browns, so I can't lie. It's definitely up there. And the Ravens fans, hey, they would attest to that as well. So
I did learn something about Heinz Field or Astro, whatever. Acrisure Stadium. It sounds like that's the way you got to say it. But one of the guys that part of the bachelor party is from Pittsburgh, close by, Pennsylvania. Steelers fan as well. We had 3 of them down there out of the 10 of us. We ended up talking, though, because we ended up chilling poolside most of the day in our Airbnb, and we ended up playing the Steelers polka, of course. Here We Go Steelers, that song, and then Renegade. And I'm like, every time the song plays, it's at the start of the 4th quarter. And he goes, no, you're wrong. He goes, it's actually at a random point in the 4th quarter. It's not always at the start. It's just at some point during the 4th quarter. And he goes, almost always whenever that song plays, the Steelers end up having a huge play or else they end up scoring, and that stadium just erupts. And I haven't been to a game out there yet, unfortunately, but I'm trying to make my way out there at some point, either there, a Pirates game. That's on the bucket list for the next couple of years, hopefully within the next year, just because PNC is a great site to see, great ballpark.
PNC is a great ballpark.
It wins number 1 every year. It's like the number 1 ballpark.
I've been there before.
And there's standing rooms also in the outfield as well. We might be going July 4th. We'll see what happens. That's an afternoon game. I'll be excited to see that. Skeens might pitch. It's only a game away in the rotation, so we'll see what happens if anything changes. But
you mean posted up next to Livy Dunn? Is that what you're going to be doing?
I don't think she'll be in standing room only, brother.
I don't think so.
As always,
you might bump into her
behind home plate, or else in that little lounge wherever they end up having all the VIPs.
Just tell her your last name is Skeens. You're part of the Skeens clan.
Honestly, I'll change my name right now.
Because the song, like you said, Renegade in Pittsburgh, where in New York they play New York, New York. They send you home to that.
Yep. Just like
after
Cleveland
the Yankees
rocks.
Came back or something, just like here in Cleveland, where Cleveland rocks if the Browns win or the Guardians win.
Wow.
Ed's feeling some type of way.
It's just,
Can you imagine the bottom of the 9th and Aaron Judge up
See, I knew he's gonna go there.
And he's playing in a Cleveland Guardians uniform, and he walks it off.
That sounds
play. And Keith Allen did not see it coming. And next thing you know,
I'll tell you a
prime drive to deep left field.
Away back.
Holy shit! He just hit it off the scoreboard. He just won the World Series.
Prime example. When the Yankees and the Indians met in 2017, Lindor,
the Grand Slam.
No, not the Grand Slam. In Game 3, the Guardians was up like 1-0, and Lindor should have had a home run, but Aaron Judge reached over the right field wall and caught it. And after that, the whole series turned.
Thanks, Keith. Thank you.
It turned.
Thank you for that bit of history that
it turned. And all you
for the worst, Keith, for the worst. It turned for the worst. Thank you.
Yeah, then remember that Grand Slam that you were talking about too? That was a fun one. That was the better one I was thinking about.
Keith wants to kill the show and he wants to talk about an Aaron Judge robbing.
6'7" of Aaron Judge.
Now, question, Keith, about Aaron Judge. Do you think when it's all said and done in that contract that he got, will it at the end of how many years, will it be like a Pujols contract or a, like years 9, 8, 9, 10? You're like, man, I wish we could get out of this. Or do you think because he was a late bloomer? He's 29, 30 now. He's a late bloomer. So I'm just wondering about him. I mean, he's hit numbers now, but will it be like that the whole contract, or what do you think?
I think he'll always hit. Now, whether he continue to play the field at the same level, that remains to be seen. Because, he has some fluke injuries from year to year.
That's true.
Like when he hit his toe or hit his foot last year at Dodger Stadium on the wall and stuff like that. So if he can stay healthy, I see that contract. But I don't see him playing in the outfield at 38, 39. No. Because you won't even – I don't see Trout playing the outfield for Anaheim or Los Angeles or whatever in a few years.
No, I don't. We are contractually obligated to mention.
Wait, before it ends up ending.
Yes. Uh-oh. There it is.
I knew this.
Making Keith watch this is great.
That was Keith right there.
Now show the other one.
Yeah,
what other one? There's only one on YouTube.
Show the other one where he got robbed.
What other one? I think they
Aaron
said
Judge brought that one.
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, the only thing that kind of haunts me a little bit with seeing that, Peyton, is that it was Francisco Lindor that hit it. I wish, what I'm saying, and obviously all the turbulation that followed after he left Cleveland. But hey, Frankie, I'll call you Frankie because I'm lazy today. I'll call you Frankie.
He went to New York anyway.
Yeah, he did. He did go to New York. He went to Queens. He ain't
gonna never win there.
That's Donovan Mitchell's favorite team, by the way, the Mets.
He ain't gonna never win.
No.
Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden,
86 Mets,
and Keith Hernandez are not coming through that dugout door.
How much blow do you think that 86 Mets team ran through?
A whole lot.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. No, Keith, let's talk about party teams. And would you say the 86 Mets, would that be the most partiest team of all time? Or what would you? I mean, it's legendary. I mean, it's
you
legendary.
Can say the 86 Mets.
Yeah. And
you can also in the West say the Bash Brothers.
Yeah, they did that. Oakland
A's.
Yeah.
You can also say them.
What about the 90s Cowboys? They called it the White House for a reason.
Yeah, the Cowboys. They
Cowboys.
They party. Yeah. Maybe they need to get back to that.
Yeah.
Oh, show it.
There's that one with the Yankees.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I remember it.
That's an image. That's BS.
Peyton, that's ironic that
you going Aaron Judge's top plays in the outfield. I bet you that play is number 1.
What do you mean? That looks exactly like Aaron Judge. That's exactly how I remember
that.
It
Ain't no Aaron Judge. That's a red camera, like a Boston Red Sox thing.
Peyton, you could not have found a better image of that. That's perfect.
I searched Aaron Judge Rob's Guardians, and it just said no image available. I'm sorry, Keith.
Ain't that about some stuff? That's all right. You can make new memories.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll say one thing: none of these plays got rings for the teams that were involved.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
because he had to face them damn assholes afterwards.
Yes, that's true. I mean,
which, by the way, the Astros are slowly but surely creeping back in it in the AL West.
Make them go away, Keith.
And also, Texas is slowly but surely creeping back in.
Well, somebody out of that West, they got to wake up.
They got
West.
Scherzer back.
Okay. Yeah, because I think the Mariners, they're a good team, but there's just something about them that I don't know what it is. They're just
something like it's like they're renting a spot. You know what I'm saying?
Until the real teams want to step up, the real Slim Shady step up.
Because in Houston figures it out with the pitching.
Yeah,
because they got like 3 or 4 guys.
Houston's one of those teams. Yeah, they're like Michael Myers, Jason, and they just you got to kill them and kill them and kill them.
And they've been to 7 straight American League Championship Series.
That's like LeBron going to 8 straight conference finals, that's something that's ridiculous. I mean,
and they still got Altuve. I'm scared of him. I'm scared of Alvarez. I'm scared of Tucker. Not scared of their pitching staff, but.
Well, you know what I'm scared of, Keith? This is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz. Breaking news. The Tennessee Volunteers won the Men's College World Series, and you could say they have reached Rocky Top. Good old Rocky Top. Rocky Top, Tennessee. That's right. The Cleveland
Somewhere
Cavaliers.
Jimmy Haslam is smiling.
Yes, he is. You know that. The Cleveland Cavaliers have finally hired a new head coach, Kenny, I don't bicker with my staff, Atkinson. Welcome. And finally, the Florida Panthers almost blew a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup, but lucky for them, they don't have anyone on the roster named Rory McIlroy. 4. And this is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz. Breaking news.
I thought Edmonton was going to come back and
Oh, my God. Okay. So disappointed. Like when the Cavaliers got to the point of coming back from 3-1 and it was 3-3, they had to win Game 7. The Cosmos had to allow that for the first time. Like, how in the world, Edmonton? And you got Ed in your name. It just proves, Peyton, that Ed alone, when you throw the crap at on the back end of it, it kind of dilutes it, and that's what happened there. But how could you have Connor McDavid? You know what I'm saying? How do you lose that? How?
It's like Florida's defense just swallowed them up
for various reasons.
Well,
I think we all
nothing going.
Fans.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about here, and that's maybe.
But you got to give credit to Florida's defense, man. They swallowed them up.
Well, they had. I was watching the game. I actually watched the whole game, and Edmonton was pushing it, and they were putting the pressure on them, and they had the puck down in the zone
and
all the time. They just could not get it in.
Through. Yeah, they couldn't come through.
And I'm surprised with Break Ed News.
Yeah.
Out of everything you could have used, you're telling me you didn't use the patient coach. You didn't talk about Max Wiener.
It's the sun. It's hot. It's summer
But you have ED, and you also have Max Wiener. This is a show in the making, guys.
Maybe as traumatized as with the name Ed. I try to stay away from things
Wiener
that
jokes.
It's just too personal. I guess it's too personal. It happens. Well, like I said, the audience out there, if you got a suggestion for Break Ed News, feel free to, hit me up on X or the We Like Sportz Show, on X, and give us something out there. We're always.
I feel you should do some Yankee stories on Break Ed.
Okay. Now, get your burner account, Keith, and then you can go ahead and you can suggest. Yeah, I know where you're going. Because if I know it's Keith Allen, then I can't. It's too privy.
I think that cough means one thing, Ed. I think it's time to pay the bills.
It is time to pay the bills. Wow, you're reading my mind. How's that? And also, too, those bills are paid by W. That's right. If you want an energy drink that you can mix at home that doesn't give you the jitters or make you crash, if so, then try W. Their products have no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. W has great flavors such as Dragonade, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dub Sludge. And they got a new one. Check out W, a mystery flavor. So you want to check that out. So head on over to w.gg, use the coupon code We Like Sportz, and get 10% off your order. You'll want to do that. Also, we always like to talk about money. Don't forget to check out the Snooze You Lose podcast with Uncle Joe the Back Bookie. He'll get you set with a Sunday Snooze You Lose pick of the week. So who doesn't want to add more coin to their man purse? So Uncle Joe, he'll get you set. He's been hot in 2024. He continues to stay hot like the weather, so you'll want to check that out. And also, I always say pat on the back. Everybody take pats on the back. To We Like Sportz, the website, WeLikeSportsPC.com. We have writers that are putting out articles daily about the New York Mets, New York Knicks, all this New York stuff. Peyton, I say all the time, I feel like it's a New York-centric thing, even though we're Cleveland-centric, but I love it. It shows that we're blowing up. We're nationwide, and we got plenty of stuff out there. So also check out our guys, the 643 podcast. They got something going on tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern time as well. So how'd I do?
That wasn't bad. I haven't heard it in a while, but I think you're still on par of the same thing before. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, you didn't stumble, and I'm not here to be like CJ and give you a shit. But breakhead news, not bad. Great debate. I mean, I don't know if I'm still a master debater or what. I think so. And the ad reads, I mean, I'd give you a 7 out of 10.
Okay, well,
I'd give you a 10 out of 10.
That's what I like to hear. There you go. And
I'd give you a 13 out of 10.
I don't exactly know what this means, but G Styles, thanks for the
I think that's some kind of Tennessee thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Also, everybody, don't forget to vote in your Major League All-Stars.
Thank you,
June 27th is the deadline for the first round of All-Star voting.
Okay.
Vote in Stephen Kwan. Vote in David Fry.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I got to show something while Keith is talking about All-Stars. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Vote in. Well, Jose, right now, he's leading vote getter at third base. Vote in Big Josh Naylor. He needs to go.
He does.
Yes. Vote in Jimenez. Vote in Aaron Judge. Vote in Soto.
Yeah. And also, while you're doing that, you can also go to MyBookie. The NBA playoffs and everything is over with. Stanley Cup is over with, but it's still the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you'll never miss a shot to play. MyBookie makes it really easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted daily. So get yourself a head start and play with house money using promo code SPORTS. That's sports with a Z. Head on over to MyBookie where you can bet anything, anytime, anywhere. And to Peyton Vince's point, Stephen Kwan is wanted. He is wanted in Arlington, Texas, where the All-Star game will be. So vote for Stephen Kwan and all the other Guardians out there.
Yes.
How to do that? No, that was good. That was
vote.
That was good.
Stephen, vote. Do you get it?
Yeah, vote the manager, Stephen. Vote.
Would it be crazy if somehow he ends up, because I think it's the best record that manages the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Guardians are up 3-2 in the top.
Or is it? Or does it? I think it might go by the World Series last year. I think it might the two managers.
Back to my original point.
The NBA does that. Now, to your point, the NBA does that. But I remember Mike Hargrove was the manager in '96 because they went to the '95 World Series. I don't know if that's still the same, but vote for Stephen. Kwan.
Matter of fact, quick scoreboard update: the Guardians are up over Baltimore 3-2 in the second inning.
Who's pitching tonight? That's a high scoring already.
Logan Allen.
Oh, gee, okay.
8-3, Logan
Allen. He'll go 5 innings like he always does. 5 2/3.
We need to cross our fingers before I head out too.
Yep.
David Fry, home run. I already got Gunnar Henderson.
You have a little bit of.
I got a little bit of coin in my purse if I end up going
there.
My man purse, $5 for 120.
Do you have a big man purse or is it like a coin purse?
I got
a fanny pack
wanted sign.
Okay, well there you go.
I gave a baseball card to a bum before.
Here's the thing I want to say to everybody out there: when you're going into any sporting events or you happen to see a quote unquote bum in the streets. If you're going to hand them money, make them do something. My friend always taught me this: make them do 10 jumping jacks, 10
Make them
push-ups.
do a trick.
Make them do something. Yes. Well, hopefully they don't, want to fight, because that's not a trick I want to get into. I'm getting old, so I don't want to do that.
You just got to have more people with you. You're usually outnumbered.
Yeah, I don't. If they say, "Hey, I got a trick. I'm pretty good with my hands," that's why I say, "Here's your money. You win. You're good with your mouth too. Here you go."
Hey now.
Hey now. Ooh. But Peyton, I'm glad you joined us today. I know you'll be heading out shortly. The show will be over shortly soon, but we'll have some closing time and some thoughts with Keith before you leave. And so, any final thoughts, Peyton Vince, before you check out softball game? What's that about tonight? What are you doing?
Final thoughts for one, vote. 2, playing softball 8:30, 9:30 in Parma. I think we're like 10-4.
Okay.
Good game so far. I've hit 2 out. Big strong man now, batting decently, above like 600, I think, for a little update.
Okay.
To Casey's credit, I was not actually recruiting in Texas for softball. I did say that he commented on that. I had a lot more better things to do than recruiting for softball. But yeah, playing softball, enjoying it. Hot weather at times, not as hot as Austin, Texas, but I mean, no complaints on the softball front. And last night at bowling in my summer league, I did throw a 248. So I mean, that was
okay.
Oh,
one
I
spare
throw
and
248, but
6
it's Wii bowling. It's Wii bowling.
Oh, it's weed bowling.
Ooh.
Oh, we like the
hey, even better. I like what you said. That's even.
I was
and,
confused.
and in Ohio, I hear it's recreational now, and so get your permits out there because it's ready for you.
What's their slogan? We would like to smoke.
Maybe
Maybe they'll be a sponsor.
Hey, anytime, shoot us a DM.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, that's it from the softball front. Next week, I might be able to squeeze on the show. Guards are at home Tuesday. I have softball as well, and Wednesday, Thursday, home games too. Monday, I believe they're off. I don't know what everybody's schedule's looking like.
Well, we'll have to pinpoint something now. I know Wednesday, obviously, 4th of July is Thursday. So
yeah, and if I don't make it, guys, have a good 4th of July. Last holiday I was even on, I couldn't even tell you. It was probably like April Fool's Day. It seems like I hopped on almost
about right.
Ballpark.
That's what CJ said. Seems about right.
Yeah, so checks out. Yeah,
checks out right. April Fools. Yeah.
And that was my CJ impersonation. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad I was able to come home for the first time in a while. It's
Hit
been
first slide, right?
Yeah, exactly. That too. But I'm in here on the We Like Sportz Show. I mean, it's been a long while. I've missed you guys. In about another month or so, I'd probably end up being back more consistently. Softball would end up slowing down Mondays and Tuesdays. Tuesdays still would be rough with softball, but Monday's free. We'll end up seeing how it goes. But definitely in the fall, I'll be back. But Ed and Keith keep on killing it. You guys are anchoring this ship. I'm seeing social media at We Like Sportz PC. We're over 3,600 followers now, and it seems that people are listening. And
now my wife says our TikToks are doing really good, by the way. So she sees the TikTok. So she likes those TikToks. The TikToks are blowing up. So keep doing that, Peyton.
Your wife knows better than I do. Let me check really quick because I have not been on TikTok.
She's like, she was surprised at the number of likes. I said, look, but what's not to like about us? What's not to like?
What's as Nick Gilbert, RIP.
Yeah.
As he once said, what's there not to like?
That's true. And I feel those sentiments exactly. But Keith, you're always my guy. You hold it down with me.
Okay. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife is right. I just don't.
That's what I said. That's
the time. We have notifications wise 206 likes as soon as I opened it.
See?
Couple followers, couple comments. So I guess I'm going to have to end up hopping on the TikTok making train again and stop slacking because that shit's working, guys. But until next time.
All right. Good luck tonight, my guy. Good luck. Hit a home run for me.
Good luck.
Go Ed. Go Keith. Go Steelers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Keep on kicking ass.
All right. Take it easy, my guy.
You can take back the last one.
That is our own Peyton Vince out. Yeah, there he is. I got him.
You can take back the last one.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, when you put it on. Hey, when you put it on TikTok, you can edit out to Go Steelers.
I'll say this is gonna be weird, but I go yay.
Yeah, even better. Awesome. Keith, before closing time right now, what do you got here? What any final thoughts?
I'll say this. My final thoughts is I am not condemning the Kenny Atkinson hire.
Okay. You just were not excited. That's I just
not excited. Not excited. It's safe.
Okay. Is that a bad thing then?
Now the interesting thing is who will be the associate head coach or the assistant coach?
That's a good question. That's great. What I'm hearing though is that the sets that Kenny Atkinson runs, he's a very cerebral coach. I think there's a lot of the player development with Mobley. I think the real reason why he got the job is Dan Gilbert doesn't want to split up Mobley and Allen. And he feels that Atkinson can he can develop Mobley. He's already been with Jared Allen. And what I liked what somebody said the other day was, you give them 36 minutes each, but you spread it out where they're only on the floor maybe 12 to 15 minutes a game. You can make it work. And I don't want to give up on good players. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see where this goes.
And I don't think he wants to give up Darius Garland either.
I think you're right. He wants to keep the core four together.
Yeah. And if player development is what Atkinson can do, that means we should see more and expect more from Evan Mobley. Because his Cavs movement is dependent on Evan Mobley.
Oh, no, somebody's oh my God, what's going on here? Somebody's hacking us, I think.
Uh-oh.
Yankees lose.
Oh my goodness, Keith, we just got hacked.
See.
You know what? That shows you something. When people don't hack people unless they're blowing up. Obviously, We Like Sportz. We're blowing up. We're getting hacked, Keith Allen. What is that all about?
Yes. Even though he had to put on Yankees lose, that's cool.
I believe that was just random, Keith. I don't
wait till October.
That hacker could have been in China. That hacker could have been anywhere, and he just, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think there was any ill will or anything about that, Keith, or anything personally against you.
But I do want to say one thing before we get off here in my closing time. Shout out to Reggie Jackson.
Yes.
Who kept it 1,000 last week.
Tell the audience what exactly happened there, because that's
when
really
they was interviewing Reggie Jackson down in Alabama during the St. Louis Cardinals San Francisco Giants game that was played in the old Negro League Stadium there.
Yes. Yep.
I think it was Brightwood, Alabama. Something like that.
We apologize.
But I apologize. But when they had Reggie on, Reggie gave his unadulterated truth on how things were back. Oh, I can't even really say back because 1967 isn't that far away.
No.
It ain't like it was 1935 during the Babe Ruth era. We talking about 1967, where you're just now starting to get color TV, Motown, the Stones, the Beatles,
yes,
all that and everything. And Reggie said, if it weren't for key people like Charlie Finley, the A's owner, the players like Joe Rudy, I think he was staying in Joe Rudy's apartment. During that time, and people told him if he doesn't leave, they was going to burn the apartment down.
I don't know about you, but that's a little bit.
It was places. Think about this: in 1967, that he couldn't go eat down in Alabama.
That's ridiculous.
And he said they was pointing him out, saying that guy can't eat in here. Well, they ain't say that guy. They just
they didn't say that guy. I know what
they can't eat in here. And
I know what they said.
And he kept it all the way real and everything. And this is a teaching moment because what people don't realize, 1967 isn't that far away from 2024. It's not like that was a time before TV.
No,
it might have been a time before cable TV.
Yeah, this stuff could easily be documented.
Yes, that stuff could be documented and everything. I mean, and shout out to the guys that were on the panel that actually let him.
Yeah, let him go. That's what they said. They gave him kudos for letting him go.
Shout out to them because a lot of people would try to shush him and all that, but they let him talk. Yeah. And shout out to Reggie Jackson for showing people what people really had to go through. And it can also be a teacher moment to people that look like me, that look, we ain't that far away. And the way we're acting out here in these streets, out here killing each other, doing all this all crazy bullshit, you got to think about where we actually came from.
Well, I always say this, with things going on in this country. Look, I'll never understand this, and maybe because this is who I am, I'll never understand the whole black on black violence as much as it is, because it seems like the struggle is, like Reggie was saying, it was so real and so many things to overcome. I don't understand how another minority can look at another minority and do anything but lift them up, because what I'm saying. And I see the streets like you're saying and you're talking about, and it just breaks my heart. Like, why are you doing this? Everybody should be lifting everybody up, but especially minorities should be lifting minorities up. And I don't understand that. I'll never understand.
And I think that drove Reggie to be the flash guy that he became.
Now he
became that dude.
He's that guy. He's
that
Oakland,
and then he went to New York.
Yep. Mr. October.
Yeah. Hey, that's what got me to be a Yankees fan. For real. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
He's a hero to everybody. Should be to everybody.
Yes. My first heroes, as far as sports wise, was Reggie Jackson and Dr. J.
Yeah, those are two good ones.
Heroes. Coming up, I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, and I knew who they were right off the bat, and everything. And for Reggie to say what he said should be a wake up call.
It should. Hopefully, I hope it is. This country needs people like Reggie Jackson.
Yes, because he just basically kept it gully. I was like, damn. My dude, have you seen the documentary that Reggie Jackson got on?
I have not.
Gotta watch that.
Okay.
You gotta watch it and everything. It's excellent. It's excellent. Okay. But shout out to Reggie Jackson. Man, he actually won. Man, I wanted to be a baseball player growing up just because of him. Him and Dr. J was my two favorite dudes coming up,
rocking that ball and rocking that baby.
And hearing the crowd, Reggie, when he hit the 3 home runs against the Dodgers and everything. And, it was just like, it was like a come to reality experience. You know what I'm saying? Because we talking about 1967.
That like I said, it's people. When
we're not talking about 1945.
No.
Like when or 1946 when Jackie Robinson and Larry Doby first got into the MLB. That's 20 years past time.
Yeah.
20 years.
And plus, it's past the Jim Crow. You had civil rights already. You had civil rights into law.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's right after they passed the
that.
Civil Rights Act. Right. That's right after they passed the Civil Rights Act. And Reggie said, you know what? I had so much hate and frustration in my heart, and if I would have acted out, I would have got killed down.
Yeah. Well, it's understandable. If I've never had a place where I was afraid someone was going to burn the whole place down as I slept.
Just because he was sleeping there, he had to move and everything.
That's just,
and when he said he went to a country club or something that Charlie Finley had or whatever there, and they told him that he couldn't eat there. Charlie Finley said, "You know what? My team is going to leave.
Good.
We'll just go eat burgers."
There you go.
Shout out to Charlie Finley.
Yeah,
shout out to him.
I'll always say this, throughout the civil rights movement and stuff like that, and I love it how Jackie Robinson mentioned it, how Reggie Jackson mentioned it. There were a lot of white guys that took stands that were unpopular, and they put their reputation and their livelihoods on the line as well, and to advance everything for everybody. And shout out to them too, because just because you're white, especially back in that time, and now it's a lot different now because of social media and things. But is it? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, is it really that different? I don't know. That's for people to decide, I guess. I don't know. But all I got to say is the violence needs to stop. I don't care what color you are. Violence doesn't get you anywhere. Stop doing it. Don't go to the streets with malice in your heart. That's not the thing. I say this: you want change, be productive in that, and it can get done.
Be part of the change.
Yeah,
don't be part of the chaos.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff like you were saying about in the streets and things like that, and it's just so counterproductive to what
from what Reggie was talking about. It's like, why are we doing this to each other? Where what I'm saying?
That's what I don't understand, Keith. That like I said, it's just it's sad, and I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see it. Stop doing it. And all right, that's our social commentary. I love delving into it because look, sports and social, awareness and everything. Look, it goes hand in hand. I mean, the one thing great about this country and the movements and stuff that we've had, sports have been a big part of it, and we should never shy away from that.
Yes.
So, thank you.
And
thank you for bringing it up.
Also, J.R. Redick got hired by the Lakers.
Oh, jeez. Now, somebody said I thought this was great. Okay, so I love jokes. I think X is undefeated, and sometimes but was JJ Redick, was he a DEI hire? Because my gosh, I've never seen a person so unqualified for a position. And you know what, JJ, he good looking guy, whatever, and he can talk. But I think.
But you know what though?
Coached in the 4th grade, I think did something.
It can work.
It might. But
believe it or not, because check out, I had my reservations about Steve Kerr at first, but at least Steve Kerr did go into the assistant coaching ranks.
Right. And now,
but to my point, also, guess who JJ Redick wants to be his assistant coach?
Rajon Rondo.
Bingo.
There you go. Now that would be something.
Which validates my argument, who I thought should have been the Cavs coach.
Well, I guess
in the running.
Yeah. Well, my only thing about the DEI hire for JJ Redick was you had Sam Cassell, you had Rajon Rondo, you had people out there that maybe deserved the shot at coaching, like to Stephen A. Smith's point, and then you got JJ Redick getting it. And I know he's buddies with LeBron, and like they can say what they want that they didn't talk and only talked afterwards. I don't believe it.
I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, that's just.
I don't believe that shit at all.
No, and LeBron, you have every right to talk to whoever you want to. I
mean, think about this. You have Sam Cassell, who's gotten 2 championship rings as an assistant.
Yep.
3 championship rings as a player.
Yep.
Been an assistant for past 15 years.
I think he's paid.
And he can't even he can't sniff an interview or anything.
Now that's who I'd like to see the Cavs get with somebody. If the Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell thing doesn't work, a player like Sam Cassell or Chauncey Billups, they need another guy like that. Donovan's going to be the star, but they need a guy like that. Would you agree with that?
Yes, because they needed a guy that can. I wanted a coach that could bring Darius back to the fold.
Yeah, maybe he can. Maybe he can. We'll see.
And maybe Atkinson can. I ain't going to throw the book at him or nothing like that. Like I said, I don't really have nothing against the hire.
Yeah,
but no.
I understand it. It's just like anything, it's a retread. We talked about it is a retread.
Yeah. And it's different than Brooklyn when he wasn't expected to do nothing.
Now he's expected to go to at least the second round
to win.
Yeah.
Or really Eastern Conference Finals if everybody's healthy.
I agree. But that's what makes it fun, Keith, and that's what made our show fun. Look, we delved into it all today. What we talked about in a slow sports time, but look at all the things we talked about, and that's what makes the We Like Sportz Show great. Keith Allen, you're great. The only thing I got for closing
time your baddie was the MVP of the game on Sunday.
Yes, Miss Angel Reese. I love it.
She did her thing. I gotta give thing. You gotta tip your hat to her. 25-16 brought Chicago back from 15 down. Shout out to you, Angel.
She's doing her thing. Hey, like I said, baddie, doing bad things. That's good stuff.
Yes.
But But I don't have anything else. Like I said, next week is 4th of July. We'll let you know when the show comes on. I'm guessing Tuesday, but we'll see where we go from there. Because Wednesday's July 3rd, and a lot of places have fireworks. Obviously, July 4th. So I'll let you know.
I don't know if I'm coming on Sunday because I got to work Sunday. So
okay, well, like I said, that's probably better because it's the weekend before, and I think I might go to the pool. Be a pool day, so it's okay. I told myself I want to hang out with the family more with these pool days, and all the kids, they love it when I go because then I'm Bernie Kosar in the pool throwing them darts, and it's kind of fun. And plus, hey, in my head, I think I am Bernie Kosar, and it's wonderful. I'm not Deshaun.
Nothing wrong with that.
You can't be mobile. I can't be Deshaun because it's hard to be mobile and quick in the pool. You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
Exactly.
I'm more like the statue. Just throwing.
Yes.
So,
people are going to be shocked when I give my AFC North predictions.
Oh, that'll be coming soon. So check us out.
People are going to be shocked.
Sure to shock the world.
I done told a couple of people already what my predictions are as far as the AFC North.
Okay. Well,
and not what you think.
Okay. Well, you know what, Keith? Do not tell me. I want to be shocked on air.
All right. No doubt. But we got a while before that goes.
We got a while. So enjoy your summer. We got plenty of Guardians baseball. We got plenty of stuff going on. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the We Like Sportz show. We like sports, but we like you, and we like the fact that you tuned in. So till next time, we'll see you, and have a good one. Go Guards.
Peace.
Go Cavs. Go Browns. Go